morning, everybody. This is your overland soldier, and I'm going to be showing you real quick today how we're going to go from the chrome badging to the matte black badging.
The next thing you'll want to do is make sure that you have yourself a handy dandy heat gun. This is going to be to heat up the metal area here, makes that sticky adhesive behind it a little bit loose, so you can then take, some people say floss. I've got me some fishing line here, got it from Walmart for about $2. You're gonna pretty much use that to siphon it through the back to get that off. Now, I've never used the floss method, but I do hear that sometimes it breaks pretty easily. This was really cheap. I got it from Labor Fright for about $15. So it's all you're really gonna need to get started. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna do it one at a time so you guys can pretty much see how it comes out. Now, this is my first time doing it, but I feel 100% confident that we're gonna get this right. All right, guys? Turn on, and again, not holding it too far away, but not too close, right? And you just want to remember, you want to go back and forth, not holding on any particular spot for too long, up and down. You can even take your hand here and use it as a guide. Feel like getting too hot, it's probably too hot, right? Your hand's getting too hot, it's probably going to be ready to let up. We're just pretty much going back and forth now. You're not actually heating up the metal, it's not what you're trying to do. You're trying to heat up that adhesive behind it again to loosen it up. Now, I've seen people do this without heating up anything, right? So say the car's been sitting in the sun, it's hitting it, that adhesive behind it may already be loose just from the sunlight. So they'll just take their string and go from there. Now, I'd rather you apply not enough heat than too much. So we're gonna stop there and see if we can get our fishing line up under there, guys. But you want to work fast, okay? So I've got my fishing line. I'm gonna wrap it around my finger like so. And essentially it's gonna be like you're flossing your teeth pretty much, right? So I'm gonna clip over here, come in, and just pretty much start wiggling that back and forth, back and forth. Now I can already feel it going through. If it breaks, it's okay. But again, it is fishing line, so it should be a little bit strong. But as you can see, just like you're flossing, back and forth, up and down. Don't force it. You need resistance. Just keep going. So we did actually break there, which is fine. All right, so just get another piece and you continue going, which is what I'm gonna do here. And that can come from me having the line too long or applying too much pressure. But it was heating up pretty good, but it still broke. So I'm gonna keep moving. Back to where we were. I got about halfway through before the line decided to break on me. So, and if it gets too stiff or you're like, okay, I'm not doing anything, we're gonna just heat it back up and go from there. What I might suggest, which is what I did not do, is get you a few pre-cut pieces of line so that you're not rushing so much like I am, trying to cut off pieces if it breaks. You also could buy, obviously stronger line. I just kind of picked up the first thing I saw, the cheapest one. So you do run that risk of doing that. So again, run on your finger and just kind of keep going through there. And you want to make sure you're going up and down and kind of back and forth, because if you just like do a seesaw method, it might not work. And so I'm going to start from this side a little bit. If you need resistance on one side, you just pick up the other side. You can see it's already wiggling, so we're probably going to be pretty good here. Just up and down, back and forth. Hope we can get it off without this last string breaking. Yeah, we're almost there. And there is, be careful, this could be very hot if you just heated it, so I would suggest it just kind of fall down. You can pick it up later. All right, and if you see you still got some of this gunk and goo and stuff like that on here, so you're gonna want to get that off as well. The way you're gonna do that is pretty much the same way. Obviously, you got something you get off with your finger, you just get off with your finger. But what I'm gonna do is heat it up a little bit more, just slightly, like we've been doing. All right. Once you do that, you want to take a plastic razor blade. Now, I don't have a plastic razor blade, could not find one. I do have some of these like plastic trim pieces that you can use to remove trim off your vehicle. I had it from several projects on my sport track. I'm gonna try this here and try to just get off what I can with it before I heat it up. If I can't do anything, then I'll go ahead and heat it up. But it is working pretty good. Again, you want to use a plastic razor blade or some type of plastic scraper to get all the extra gunk off here. And you're gonna just kind of roll it up until you can pick it up. Obviously, you don't want to use your real razor blade because that will inevitably scratch your paint. Now, depending on if your vehicle sits a lot or a lot older vehicle, whatever it may be, you may not have this much excess adhesive after you remove the emblem. It just depends. I've seen people do this and they had little to no extra adhesive on it. So in my case, I have a lot. So you can just pretty much keep doing that, keep working that, and see how I'm pushing it inward, trying to get it all into one area where I can roll it if I wanted to. That's all we're gonna do here. Simply pick it up. And this one does not, you can see, this one does not have the 2 pins that I spoke about earlier. So you're gonna obviously, once you clean this up, remember where it was in relation to your Toyota emblem here. But I already did my measurements. It was about 1/3 of an inch from the emblem here. So I'll leave this here and place the black one there. That way I kind of got my position straight. So I'm just about done getting all of the pretty much the thick adhesive off. You want to do that first before you apply some type of tar remover or gunk or goo remover. So I'm just doing that. I'm gonna clean it all the way up here and may heat it one more time just to get a little bit more off, because that stuff is really not gonna come off with just a tar remover. But let me see, I'll go up here. Keep going. Got a little bit more here I want to get off. Once you get done with that, I'm gonna go ahead and debadge the second one here, just so you have more working space. And obviously, once you put your goo removal on here, you don't want it to drip down and interfere with what you got going on there. This would be a lot easier. Obviously, the letters are a lot smaller. I say that when it breaks, but a lot easier. And so I'm gonna just debadge that real quick. We'll move on to the next step. Now I've finished cleaning up the second batch of adhesive pretty much as much as I want to. You want to get yourself something like some plug and tar remover or something. I've got Goo Gone, so work pretty good. So I'm gonna just take a few squirts, put it on both here. That's got a little shoot out. Now, once you put it on there, I'm gonna let this sit for about 5 minutes. All right. While I'm letting that sit, I'm gonna go over to the other side, the FJCRUISER, and start debagging there. All right, so after you've let that sit for a little bit, 5-10 minutes, whatever it may be, you're gonna get you a warm, I use microfiber cloth, warm soapy water. And simply just wash the area away. What this is gonna do is pretty much get that background stuff off. Now, obviously, once you do that, you'll see all the imperfection that you have from that thick adhesive that you didn't get off. So this will help you see that a little bit more clearly, and then you can go back over it with that same method of using your plastic razor. washed it a little bit, cleaned it up a bit, and I'm gonna go back and fix the adhesive parts that I didn't do that well. But you can already see it's getting pretty good. It's not a hard job, but it is a tedious one. So you're gonna repeat this step 2 to 3 times until you've completely cleaned the area where you're gonna place your new badge. Or if you're simply debadging, you're gonna leave it blank, then you just clean it and you're done. All right, guys, so this is what it looks like after I've done it a second time. All I simply did was take my plastic scraper. After that extra adhesive that you saw, I just took the scraper, went over it. You can still see little remnants of it coming off, and wiped it. So this is only my second time. So like I said, you may have to do it 2 or 3 times. You probably could do it in 1 time if you have a proper plastic razor blade. But since I'm using this trim removal piece, it's a little bit more difficult. But this is how it looks after me doing it the second time, which is pretty clean. It's not anything really sticky on there at the bottom where Toyota is. I'm pretty satisfied with that. I want to get a little bit of the actual logo off a little bit more before we place that new badge on. All right, guys, I've done it a 3rd time. I'm completely satisfied with how it turned out. I've washed the area, I've dried it. Make sure you guys do that so there's no more of that goo gone residue on there. Obviously, that'd be bad business if you're putting a new badge. So then you take your new badge, which I have here. It's gonna be a matte black logo. Simply peel off the back. And place it on here. And simply press even presses. You hear my car? That's diesel, sorry guys. And it already looks really good. That looks really freaking sick, guys. Just make sure you get good firm presses all the way through. And we're gonna do the Toyota next. Okay, and it's gonna be the same exact thing with your Toyota letter. Just line it up. So I got my cheat tape here to kind of remember where it was. Go over just a little bit, guys. When you do it, you don't get that many chances to mess up. So we'll go with what we got. I think that looks pretty good, guys.